I am Shivaji Bhaskar, Faculty of Russian at the School of Foreign Languages, IGNOU. I welcome you all to this course, Basics of Russian Communication Skills Part 1. In this module, we will be discussing about nouns expressing possession, belongingness and negation. Now, we will go ahead and see some of the examples with which we can understand the nouns, belongingness and certain expressions which is associated with negation. Here, if we look at the nouns in singular, the forms of nouns indicating possession, belonging and negation, such as in animate and inanimate. We will also discuss about animate masculine singular nouns which indicates the possession and belongingness and negation. Possession, belonging with the interrogative word like chei, chia, chio and chi. We will have certain examples to understand all these three important aspects, such as drug, brata, живет недалеко. Друг, брата, живет недалеко. For this sentence, we have a question, чей друг живет недалеко. Here we are saying, whose brother lives not very far. Depending upon the sentence which we read is, друг брата живет недалеко. Brother's friend lives not very far. So, accordingly, in this you can clearly see that there is a relation of possession, and accordingly we have a question che for masculine gender. And here you can see brat, which takes the form of brata, indicating possession or belonging. So, accordingly the sentence drug brata has the relationship of possession or belonging. Accordingly, we will pay attention to the next sentence is комната отца находится на втором этаже. Here we have комната отца находится на втором этаже. Question is чья? Whose комната находится на втором этаже? Отец. So, отец takes the form of atsa, which indicates the possession or belonging. Likewise, for neuter gender, we have письмо друга лежит на столе. Чье письмо лежит на столе? So, we have the question, чье письмо лежит на столе? So, likewise, for masculine, feminine and neuter, we have che, chia and chio, and of course, for plural, we have chi. To understand it, let us go ahead and pay attention. Книги профессора лежат в шкафу. Книги, the plural form of книга, книги профессора лежат в шкафу. For this, we have a question, чьи книги лежат в шкафу? Whose books lie in the cupboard? Here you can see professor is taking the form of professora, which indicates the possession or belonging. So, in all these cases, whether it is masculine singular, feminine singular and neuter singular and then plural, we have seen that particular noun is taking a form which indicates the possession or belonging. Alright, in order to understand it properly, now we will go ahead and pay attention to some of the important aspects. As we have discussed in the beginning that we will be discussing about possession, belonging and negation. So, we have certain important aspect. Now, we shall discuss about possession, belonging with interrogative expression у кого? У товарища есть машина. So, у товарища есть новая машина. For this we have a question, у кого есть новая машина? Who has a new car? So here у товарища есть новая машина. So товарищ takes the form of товарища, indicating possession or belonging. So primarily the question we are going to use here is у кого, who has. Likewise, for feminine gender we are going to use the expression. How? Now let's pay attention to it. У друга есть эта книга. У друга есть эта книга. У кого есть эта книга? This is the question we are asking based on the sentence у друга есть эта книга. У кого есть эта книга? So друг changes from drug to druga, which indicates possession or belonging. Now we will go ahead. So here you have seen that in case of inanimate masculine singular nouns, which indicates possession and belonging, we have used the sentence Komnati doma ochin malinkia, in which dom, which means house, takes the form of dom. Likewise, in the next sentence, улицы города довольно широкие. Here the noun город changes into города. Likewise, бумаги словаря не хорошие. So in this case, the word словарь, which means dictionary, takes the form of словаря. So all these examples belong to the inanimate masculine, and accordingly all of them have taken the different form depending upon the possession or belonging. Now we shall go ahead and pay attention to some of the more important aspects. You have to understand it very clearly that we see that both animate and inanimate masculine singular nouns, unlike the direct object of a transitive verb, which change only in case of animate masculine singular nouns, have the same ending while indicating possession, belonging. The above mentioned changes in the endings of noun, which indicates possession or belonging, are also observed while indicating negation. In this case, the interrogative word kavo is used for animate nouns and chivo is used for inanimate. So anything which is animate we used kavo, and anything which is inanimate we use chivo. For example, в комнате нет друга. Here the word drug is animate. So that is why the question should be кого нет в комнате. But in the other case, на столе нет словаря. Словарь, which is an inanimate word, changes into чего нет на столе. So it is a clear example how to identify the word, whether it belongs to animate or inanimate, depending upon the question we choose as kavo or chivo. Now we will go ahead and pay attention to some of the words. These nouns will change according to whether they are kavo or chivo. So now let's take first animate masculine singular nouns. In this, please pay attention that we will add a if noun ends in a consonant. The question would be in nominative кто, and in this case кого нет. Врач changes into врача. Artist changes into артиста. Student changes into студента. Engineer changes into инженера. Сосед changes into соседа. Художник changes into художника. So all these examples which you have seen are ending in consonant. That is why we are adding a. Likewise, we have words like Anton, Alexander, товарищ, отец, продавец, продавец, all are changing like the rules we have followed. Anton, Anton, Alexander, Alexandra, Tavarish, Tavarisha, Отец, Отца, Продавец, Продавца. But Papa, Dядя, Dedushka are not changing like this. Papa is Papa, Dядя is Dяди, Dedushka is Dedushki. У кого нет, у папи нет. У кого нет, у дяди нет. У кого нет, у дедушки нет. And then you can complete the sentence. У кого нет карандаш? У папи нет карандаш. У кого нет телефон? У дяди нет телефон. У кого нет книга? У дедушки нет книга. So likewise, you can also make your own sentences. Now, in inanimate masculine singular noun, where the question is чего. Now, the nominative words are дом, стул, учебник, город, шкаф, рассказ. Shall changes into дом, дома, стул, стула, учебник, учебника, город, города, шкаф, шкафа, шкафа, рассказ, рассказа. And the question remains чего нет. Now, we will go ahead and pay attention to the case 2. In this, in such words which ends with soft sign, the soft sign will be replaced by я. Кто, кого нет, учитель, гость, писатель, король, Андрей, Василий. So, here in two cases where we are ending the word with i kratki, and in some words we are ending the sentence, so we are ending the words with soft sign shall change into ya, like учитель changes into учителя, гость changes into гостя, писатель changes into писателя, король changes into короля, Андрей changes into Андрея, Vasily changes into Vasilia. So, likewise, you have to remember this important aspect whenever we have a question कबो नियत and चिवो नियत. So, likewise, depending upon the word whether it is animate or inanimate, you please follow the rules of the Russian grammar. Now, we will go ahead and pay attention to some of the words like музей, словарь, портфель, корабль. Again, these nouns are ending with i kratki or soft sign. So, how do we change it? We change from музей to чего нет, музея нет, словарь, чего нет, словаря, портфель, портфеля, корабль, корабля. Alright, I hope the concept is clear to you all. Now, we will look at the another new concepts, that after numerals 2, 3 and 4, the masculine noun that they qualify also take the above mentioned form. What does it mean? It means that after dva, tri, chittire, if we have studian changes into studianta, stol changes into stalla, dom changes into doma. So, according to this, after dva, tri, chittire, studiant changes into studianta, stol changes into stalla, dom changes into dama, город changes into горада, учитель changes into учителя, and словарь changes into словаря. So, this is something which is very important. You also need to remember that after 2, 3 and 4, the masculine noun that they qualify should change. Now, we will go ahead and pay attention to some of the important aspect. In this, please follow the model. В аудитории сидели два, and in the box we have учитель. So, as we know the rule, два changes into два учителя, and likewise you have many other examples and you can change them accordingly. Now, we will go ahead and pay attention to the next concept. The singular feminine nouns, both animate and inanimate, singular feminine animate nouns indicating possession, belonging and negation, and possession belonging with the interrogative words like we have done during the previous session of masculine gender nouns, for which we had che, chia, chio and chi. But this we will take nouns of the feminine gender. So, we have the sentence Отец Анны живет в деревне. So, for this we have the question чей отец живет в деревне. So, here Anna takes the form of Анны. Отец Анны живет в деревне. Чей отец живет в деревне? Anna changes into Anna. Now, we will go ahead and pay attention to the next sentence. Singular feminine nouns, both animate and inanimate. The sentence is комната тёти находится на втором этаже. Here, комната чья? Чья комната находится на втором этаже? Here, тётя changes into тёти. Accordingly, it indicates the possession or belonging. Likewise, for neuter gender, the sentence is письмо подруги лежит на столе. Чье письмо лежит на столе? So, the question according to the neuter gender for письмо changes into чье. Чье письмо лежит на столе. So, accordingly, you can also prepare with the help of the words which you have learned in the previous sessions and change the nouns accordingly. The question chi, chia, chio and chi will change. So, the question che, chia, chio and chi will also change as per the requirement of the noun ending. Okay, I hope the concept to you all is clear, and now we will go ahead and understand some of the more examples. Padruga changes into padrugi, chia padruga. Here we have another word padruga of the feminine gender. If we have any question, then it should be chia padruga. If suppose it is padruga Anni, so Anna changes into Anni. Likewise, you can replace it with any other noun. Then the second sentence is Veshi macheri lejat shkafu. Veshi, because vesh changes into veshi, it's a plural. So, the question should be chi veshi. Chi veshi lejat shkafu. Mach changes into macheri. Mach takes the form of macheri, which indicates possession or belonging. Alright, so largely the concept for masculine and the feminine gender in animate and inanimate is clear. Now, we will take a few more examples. Okay, now let us go ahead and look at the possession belonging with the interrogative phrase у кого. У сестры есть красивый портфель. У кого есть красивый портфель? Сестра changes into сестры. У бабушки есть старый сундук. So, here you can see that у кого есть старый сундук, бабушка changes into бабушки. Now, let us go ahead. Inanimate feminine singular nouns indicating possession belonging. So far in feminine gender we have done animate. Now, you can see some examples which are of inanimate nouns. Комната. The потолок комнаты очень высокий. So, here комната changes into комнаты. Здание поликлиники очень большое. So, здание чего? Поликлиника changes into поликлиники. Здание поликлиники очень большое. Она here you can see the next sentence, Akna auditori davolna malinke. So here auditoria changes into auditori, and the last one, vkus soli saglione. Sol takes the form soli. So here we have learned about that both animate and inanimate feminine singular nouns have the same ending while indicating possession or belonging. The above mentioned changes in the ending of the noun indicating possession, belonging are also observed while indicating negation. In this case, the interrogative word kavo is used for animate nouns and chivo is used for inanimate nouns. So largely it is common to all. If you have any inanimate, then the question should be chivoa, and if anything animate, then the question would be kavo, and if it is possession, belonging, then u chivo, u kavo. В комнате нет подруги. Кого нет в комнате? В столе нет книги. Чего нет на столе? So accordingly you can frame the sentence and use them in interrogative form while putting kavo or chivo depending upon whether the word belong to animate or inanimate. Okay, now let us go ahead and pay attention to some of the words. So feminine singular nouns ending in a or ya changes into u or e. How do we understand? Please pay attention. Kto in nominative and kavo нет. So we have сестра, мама, учительница, преподавательница, Anna, тетя, Таня. It should change into сестра changes into сестры, кого нет, сестры нет, кого нет, мамы нет, кого нет, учительницы нет, кого нет, преподавательницы нет, кого нет, Анны нет, кого нет, тети нет, and кого нет, Тани нет. Why? Because all these words are of animate nature. That is why кого нет. Now let us go ahead and pay attention to some of the changes in noun ending, such as подруга, соседка, госпожа, бабушка, Olga, Masha, Natasha. Again, all these examples are of animate, but all these nouns are ending with a. So it should change into e. Подруга, подруги, соседка, соседки, госпожа, госпожи, бабушка, бабушки, Olga, Olgi, Masha, Mashi, and Natasha, Natashi. So according to the rule, you have seen that how the ending of the noun is used to describe the changes. Now we will go ahead and pay attention to some of the nouns. Adjezda changes into adjezdy. Nadezhda changes into nadezhdy. Sigareta changes into sigarety. Programa changes into programu. Улица changes into улицы. Больница changes into больницы. Комната changes into комнаты, and chema changes into chem. So likewise, as you have seen the concept that depending upon the ending of the noun, we put e or u. So with these examples, you can understand them clearly and use them in your own sentences while using kavo нет and chivo нет. Okay, now let us go ahead. So now in these words you can see like картина, деревня, статья, песня, лаборатория, аудитория. So most of the words are ending with ya, and as per rules, ya is replaced with e. Деревня, деревни, статья, статьи, песня, песни, лаборатория, лаборатории, and auditoria, auditori. So for the examples like we have learned kavo нет, chivo нет, you can replace the ending of these nouns accordingly. Alright, now we will go ahead and pay attention to another important aspects, that nouns which ends in a changes into e if the ending a is preceded by ge, ke, k, kh, zh, sh and ch. And according to that, you are changing the ending of the noun from a to e, such as policlinica, policliniki, igrushka, igrushki, kniga, knigi, afisha, afishi, piridacha, piridachi. So, you have to remember this rule as well in order to correctly change the ending of these nouns if the ending a is preceded by ge, ke, kh, zh, sh and ch. I hope you will remember this and follow the rule. Now, here you can see in the feminine singular nouns which ends in soft sign, what kind of change we see. In a nominative form, the words are mach, doch, sto, chitrach, noch, rizn and rol. It changes into kavuniat as mach changes into macheri, doch changes into docheri, sto changes into chivoniat, chitrach changes into chitraji, noch changes into nochi, rizn changes into rizne and rol changes into role. Likewise, we can also see some of the changes in the feminine singular nouns, such as, let us go ahead to see them, like muisl, sol, bol. So, according to the rule, muisl changes into muisle, sol changes into sole, bol changes into boli. So, after numerals dva, tri and chittiri, if it is in feminine, then it should be dve, tri, chittiri. Qualify also takes the above mentioned form as far as noun is concerned. So, dve knigi, tri knigi, chittiri knigi will follow the rules. So, you have dve tri chittiri knigi, dve tri chittiri chitraji, dve tri chittiri pesne and dve tri chittiri padrugi. In a singular form, nominative case, knigi is kniga, chitraji is chitraj, pesne is pesnya and padrugi is padruga. All of them belong to the feminine gender, but when 2, 3 and 4 is counted, they are changed as knigi, chitraji, pesni and padrugi. So, I hope all of you will remember this and follow the rules of the grammar of the masculine gender, feminine gender and neuter gender, where we are asking the question che, chia, chio and for plural chi. We have also learned about the concept of animate and inanimate. For animate we use kavo and for inanimate we use chivo. For interrogative in animate and inanimate we use kavoniat and chivoniat. So, all these concepts needs to be remembered whenever you are making the sentences in Russian grammar. With the help of existing vocabulary and the words and expressions which you have learned in this module, you can also make your own sentences and practice them with your family and friends in order to understand the concept in an efficient and easy manner. I hope you all enjoyed this module and we shall be discussing more about the grammar and its rules in our upcoming modules. Thank you.